Hi everyone, I am making this video because I wanted to show people how easy it is to actually speedrun Eggman Land in Sonic Unleashed. Over the past couple of years, since they re-released Sonic Unleashed for Xbox Series, I've been looking at videos and I've been seeing a lot of people commenting like, "You got an S rank on Eggman Land without dying once? Are you a god?" And to be honest with you, it really isn't that hard. And so what I want to do is I want to show a video that has me going through it all in one take, of course. It's pre-recorded. And the goal here is to be about as repeatable as we can in our strategy with getting through Eggman Land. If you wanna start it, just skip directly to the 2-minute mark, and that'll finish up this preamble. But I do want to go into a few details about what we're actually going to do here. First of all, this is going to be a speedrun, again, that focuses on repeatability as much as possible. So our first goal is to do things that we can do without having to worry too much about dying. We're not going to mess around with the camera. We're also going to respect walls. We're not going to try to clip out of bounds and do stuff like that. There are a lot of speedruns that do that. If you want to learn how to do that, talk to someone else. This is to be really, really basic as much as possible. The other caveat I have here is that we're not going to get an S rank. We're actually going to go for an A rank, because I already have an S rank, and we're going to be as fast as possible. But again, the goal is, even if you've gotten an S rank on here, we're going to show you a really simple way to do it in a single life. Wouldn't take too much modification to actually get the S rank in this video. And yeah, the goal is as much for the hot dog missions, where you have to beat the level in one life, and that's the most important thing. And going fast is almost secondary to that. With that said, the preamble is basically over, so we're about ready to start the video. So obviously we're starting at the start of the level. Nothing too fancy right at the beginning, just sort of hit the spring after going over the bars. Target all the enemies to get rid of the barrier. Very simple stuff. You would have done all of this in order to get through it. The real first challenge here is, of course, you want to dash as soon as possible, and then after you get to the end of the ring, jump up so you land on the rail. Switch, I would say, to the right rail, and then switch back after you get past the pink fans. Dash as soon as you get back onto the rail so you can skip over, like you did. You don't have to do that. There are a couple of enemies that you can homing attack to stay on the right rail in order to get over here, but this one's a little bit more reliable. And one thing you'll notice is that after we've gotten through that, we've skipped over pretty much the entirety of the first section. There's so much fun stuff that's there, but you don't get to see it because you can get through it so quickly. Bit of a shame, because there's a lot of really creative level design. But yeah, 40 seconds to get through this first part. The second area, this first werehog area, we're going to run through, not really doing much more than we absolutely have to, which means, skipping over enemies, jumping past the pits as quickly as possible. We take out those two enemies just because we can. We have the time. Doesn't really matter one way or the other. We just sort of wait around, dodge them. Here we do want to try to take a slightly slower, more circuitous route to get directly to the switch. That way we can bait the enemies into attacking us and they won't try to grab us while we're in the middle of pushing the switch. You want to do a single jump to try to get to those buckets. Pretty simple again. Double jump, you're likely to overshoot them. You just want to jump enough to get the homing reticle for the grab attack. Once you do that, you just stay on them until you're done. Here, with targeting these enemies, try to focus on the one on the front side of this platform, basically toward where we're going next. It's the darker one. That guy's got the firing out bullets attack. Very annoying, very easily can ruin your day, distract you from anything else you're doing. Any of these other guys with the buzzsaws, or chainsaws, I guess, those guys, you can take them out pretty easily. If they get in your face, they're just going to interrupt what you're doing, but the guy with the bullet firing, that one can just keep hitting you again, you kind of get stun locked. So you want to take them out first. Again, flip the switch, and we're already done. This has been about, I want to say, 1.5 minutes now. We're doing this not in the hot dog missions, which would give us a continuous time frame of everything. But we're doing this in the main view, so you can see what we need to do in order to get the S rank, which, as you'll see, is only going to be 10k rank. Now we're back, daytime Sonic, normal Sonic, I mean. try to use homing attacks as much as possible to try to get yourself where you need to be. One of the things we're going to do is we're not going to take that upper route. Much easier to take a hit and just sort of lose track of where we are. Like trying to wall jump up that thing. If you miss it, you have to wait for the platform to reposition itself. If you do screw up, this bottom route is going to end up being faster, and you don't take a hit. All right, this part, now that we're on the sled, roller coaster sled, this is all obviously an auto-scroller, so we're pretty much at the mercy of the controls here, but, you know, there's not a whole lot you want to do. When you see most of these laser grids, you want to jump over them. The first couple swing side to side. When we transition to that platform, the jump was automatic, then you jump over the spike pit, or not the spike pit, the spike pillars is what I meant to say. Yeah, here, weave a little bit to avoid the fan blades, and try to hit the launchers because they'll get you going where you need to be. After this next jump and then launching, you would have wanted to jump one more time than what I did there. So yeah, we missed that jump, we took a hit that we didn't need to, but I'm homing attacking the enemies there because when you homing attack, you lose your momentum. So you stay in one place, you can go through it. It's going to be a little bit slower than just blasting through, but you don't wind up overshooting the trick platform that actually gets you into this next area. Okay, this part with the werehog is probably the single most finicky part of the level. This first part isn't so bad as long as you take it kind of slowly. Anytime you see a bend, expect that the camera's going to start repositioning itself. You want to wait for a second for it to do that so you don't accidentally like hit the controller in a direction that pushes you off of the pipe. Usually when the camera repositions enough, that's also the point, and here we just manually adjusted the camera so we can just kind of go straight. But yeah, once the camera repositions, generally that's enough to do some double jumps in order to get across. If you want to do a little bit more clearing, you can do that quickly by being in the air, like doing a single jump, and then pressing the XXA combo. That gives you a lot of distance, but it can be hard to redirect, so I don't generally tend to use it until like near the end after we've cleared most of these pits. This part, not too crazy. We are going to wait until the fire goes down. You can do it a little bit sooner, but I like to wait because that way we don't get the fire coming off while we're in the middle of crossing this water tower and, you know, knocking us off of it. That part's a little tricky to jump onto this large platform. You have a fair bit of leniency, but I like to keep the controller at the 3 o'clock position and then move it slightly toward 2. Once again, we're on the platform. We want to try to go slowly as the camera readjusts. Here, when we're grabbing off of these platforms, you want to try to angle it toward the wall a little bit. It's an awkward position, but you'll know when you've got it properly because you'll swing upward. Because of that grab, homing grab, you can basically just use that to keep correcting yourself if you do fall down. This is maybe the more forgiving route. This part here with the spike platforms on the single pillar pipe is a little tricky. You want to do double jumps as you get close to it, like you're seeing here. Nothing too crazy. That's probably the part that's most likely to kill you if you follow along with what I'm doing, because if you do miss it, you'll hit the spikes and you'll fall down. So, yeah, there is a checkpoint right before it, so if you're worried about trying to do this in one life, you may want to try the normal route first. If you die here, you get a few more chances to practice it before you start doing the hot dog mission. Doesn't really matter one way or the other. You haven't taken that long to get here. Spend just under 6.5 minutes. Alright, just don't even bother homing attack that guy, just jump right into him, jump onto the platform moving out, jump up, then boost into the platform in order to do the wall jump. Then we'll take this upper route here. Watch out for another one of those moving fans. Goal is to get into these launchers, because then we don't have to worry about any hazards. We can just press the button that the launchers tell us to, which will be X and then 2 A's. Jump over those spikes into this next area. Then it's down and left with B and X. And B and X again in these launchers. Then A to go up, and then, you know, you're into the next section. Alright, this one, probably the trickiest section, and in the daytime stage we're going to pause in order to make sure that we get these QTEs correctly, because if we don't, we die. Okay, slow down, don't boost until we get toward the the conveyor belt, because when we are on the conveyor belt, you know, we're safe, but we don't want to boost before we jump onto it, because then we can miss the jump pretty easily. And again, you know, more pausing for QTEs and such. Alright, this next section, pretty straightforward. You do want to wait for those platforms to come out before you homing attack the enemy, because otherwise you fall. Okay, launcher X, then jump to hit the next launcher, and then you'll see here we're gonna screw up a little bit, actually. I'm gonna be open about that. This was not the correct option to homing attack this enemy, because he knocks you back. In this case, we've done a little bit of a slide without holding onto the joystick so that we lose our momentum as quickly as possible, but yeah. Just jump over him, take the spring, and then we get into this next section. You can hear the enemy when he's on and off. If you just keep scrolling through by the time you've gotten that area. It's time basically to cycle with the platform, I think. So when the platform's there and you move right, it shouldn't be still electrified, but you may want to wait a second on the platform right before it. I don't think that one's going to retract in front of you. Okay, once again, you know, now that we've cleared that area, we're doing some more QTEs. I very nearly missed this one. I didn't have a lot of time left, but we got it. Falling through here, there's not a lot of risk, and you can see that there's a little emulation artifact because I'm using xenia-canary to run this rather than like the the series or anything. Got a new computer. It's what I'm recording on because that way I don't have to invest in the capture setup. This next section here, we're skipping over, going into the werehog area, and we're going into this next area. When you're doing the wall jumps, you want to hit where the laser grid comes out of on the right side and go forward. If you screw that up, you'll really only get one chance, so you want to be very careful about your positioning when you're doing those wall jumps. Otherwise, you're going to hit one of those fans and fall down. And it's also really hard to get through this next area with these fans without taking a hit, so don't worry about it too much. Doesn't really matter one way or the other. But if we hadn't taken that hit, I will say we probably would have had enough rings by the end of this in order to get in this rank. But yeah, final werehog segment. Note here that if you're trying to do the run, jump, and Y button, it's I think called the spinning needle or something like that. Yeah, you can only do that before you fall too far, which you're going to need to know for an upcoming section. So, you know, you want to do it close to when you jump. Otherwise, you'll just do a normal attack. There is an animation switch that you probably saw. If you want to go back and see that again, yeah, there's an animation skip to where he starts from jumping into falling, and if he starts falling, then you don't get to do that attack anymore. This section's not too bad. You know, homing attack the ones that aren't electrified, and you should be able to hit the ones that are. I say homing attack, it's the like homing grab. Yeah. Pretty basic stuff. If you go from where I did and start where I am, you'll finish up right in front of the laser area that's blocking the switch that you need to get onto the next area. Also, that little thing above it is going to start making this really obnoxious noise, and yeah, I don't love it. I doubt you do either. This is why we're going to try to get through this next spot as quickly as possible. Taking the left side, so we only have to grab 2 of them. And yeah, the thing about these fan blades is that they cannot do any damage to you, but they can ruin your day because you can very easily get trapped in a stun lock cycle like this with them. So trying to do the XXA combo generally allows you to pass through them without any issue. Yeah, hard to maintain your momentum through this area if you screw up. So yeah, you want to hold forward as much as possible, do a big double jump in order to get across, and now here, doing that spinning needle attack and going almost directly left allows you to do the platform in one skip. I don't know where I first saw that. I saw in one of the more recent Eggman Land speedrun videos like this. Yeah, really useful trick. I used to try to land for the gear platform after that. It was not a good idea. But yeah, that's actually like the last real significant challenge in Eggman Land. From here on out, it's smooth sailing. There are no pits. There's nowhere you can instantly die. It's just a couple of titans to fight. And if you've died like once before here and you're going for the S rank, you're probably fine if you just get in the S rank. If you just even like attack like 1 or 2 of them, you don't need to do all 3. But if you do all 3, you'll get the S rank just fine. Don't bother with the enemies in this area. I'm only going for this this secret area because it has both the Unleashed Ball and the attack boost. There's another Unleashed boost in the barrels right next to the switch here into the first Titan area. I don't know. You could probably get by without doing that. I probably should have, because I have forgotten to unleash, which grants you unlimited shield. And as a result, I'm taking damage from this guy that I didn't need to. I've got my attack boost, so he goes down pretty quickly. Next area is just more of the same, but with two of them. And there's another Unleashed ball, so after you open the door, then you can break the barrels to get the second Unleashed refill. You're going to lose a little bit of time here as the camera cranks down. Like, not on the actual timer. Timer should be stopped, but the Unleashed meter keeps draining, as you can see. So yeah, if I had done a single critical attack on any one of these guys, that would give me 20,000 extra points from what they normally do, which would have been enough for an S rank, because we're about to see the end of the level here, and you'll look, my score is only 591,000, which is enough for an A rank. S rank limit is 600,000, so all I needed was another 10,000 more points and I would have had it. But yeah, that's Eggman Land. It's actually a pretty fast and surprisingly not that difficult speed run if you let the game sort of ease you through it as much as possible. Try to speed over the one really big jump near the end by just going directly to the left and doing the dash, and being careful in the middle section with the werehog with the pipes. Yeah, but thank you. Hopefully this is helpful for anyone who's trying to do a speed run of this level, because apparently there are still people who have trouble with it. Yeah, hope you all enjoy that, and you know, probably put up another video with some more Sonic Unleashed shenanigans in the coming days. We'll see. But yeah, thanks. Have a good day.